All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Art King. I greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in today. What we're going to be talking about today is a rifle sling. Now, before we get started with the video, you know how I am. I don't know why I couldn't find that charging handle. All right, I always do a safety check. All right, let that bad boy go back into battery. So I always like to do, safety inspections on my rifles, pistols, or whatever weapon that I'm working with because you never know. All right, I had one negligent discharge in my life. Never letting that happen again. That was a really scary moment. But so we're talking about slings today. Okay, we're talking about the importance thereof. Now, personally, I think that slings are a must-have for any rifle setup. There's no debate about it, especially if you're using it for home defense. Now, if it's like a gun range toy, or if it's just something that you use for plinking, then you know it's optional. It's optional. I would still definitely advise getting one so that you could train and practice with one a bit. But other than that, if it's any type of self-defense, especially I know with competition, then yeah, that is something that you would definitely need. Okay. So the type of sling that I am running today is a Blue Force Gear Vickers Combat Applications sling. Okay. Now I actually got mine from a buddy about 2 years ago, and they usually run about $60, $60 or $70, and they're really well built. Okay, they could be really comfortable. That's one of the things that I was really nervous about, was making sure that my sling was actually comfortable. Okay, it does have a pad on the back, which is what I showed you guys before. I don't know if you noticed that, but really comfortable, really thick. It keeps you from, getting like that burn, like friction between the pad and your neck, right? Now, of course, if you keep rubbing it back and forth like this all day, then yeah, it's gonna burn after a while. But it kind of does a really good job as far as keeping that from happening. That's why I see a lot of guys when they run slings, they have like these shirts with collars that rise up kind of high. And now I understand, right? Kind of keeps you from burning and tearing up your neck. All right. So we're gonna talk about the different sling mounts that you could possibly run. So you have 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point slings. All right. So as you can see on mine, I do have a 2 point sling, one right here, and then one on the opposite side. The reason why I run it like that is because whenever I run my slings, I like to be able to transition from shoulder to shoulder if need be. So if I have it on the opposite side, I can just switch, 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 okay, without anything impeding my transition. Right now, y'all forgive me ahead of time because for some reason I never do really good with getting this mount off. All right, there we go. So if I were to run it on the same side, right, basically what I would have happen is I would end up choking myself. So if I were to transition from shoulder to shoulder, you can obviously see how that sling is right there up against my throat, okay? And that's not good, and especially in a high stress situation when you're trying to catch your breath, when you're trying to recollect yourself and trying to recover from a physical standpoint, that can cause a lot of problems, all right? So that's obviously something that you want to avoid as far as your sling goes. As far as the farthest mount, you do have the option of running it all along this rail. Normally, I see a lot of people who run it as close as possible, as far out as possible, and then some people put it somewhere in the middle, okay? For what reason, I have no idea. But I've always been knowledgeable about these 2 points right here, okay? So as far as being close up goes, it allows you to wrench that or lock that sling down as tight as possible. So in case you have to get hands free or hands on, then it's one less object in the way that you have to worry about. So normally, if you lock it down as tight as you can get it, you can get hands on from this position, or if this is actually in the way and you need to like get a little bit closer, up close and personal, then I just throw it over my shoulder, okay? And then I'll have to worry about it being in the way, Okay, even if I turn over here, it's not going to go too much farther. Even if I lean all the way over here, then I don't have to worry about it being in the way of my hands or in my workspace primarily. If I'm ready to use it again, just fling it back around and you're ready to rock. Okay. Another great thing about the 2-point sling is like I like to wear mine as a chain or like a charm or whatever you call those things. I do like to have mine all the way open. I just run it down here so that I can manipulate my weapon any way that I see fit. Okay, so I don't have to worry about this sling limiting me from my options and my workspace. Okay, me being reliable rather than an asset. I mean a liability. Okay, so that's one of the things that I love about these slings. Open it all the way up, and I'm able to work around corners. I can reload as soon as I get that bad boy in there. Just get back to work. Okay. So that's essentially what you're working with as far as a 2-point sling. Now, in the setting that I'm in the environment that I'm in, I am in the city, so I don't really find myself wanting to or having to get into a long distance combat situation, because it seems like every, I want to say 150 meters is like a structure or an item in the way that won't allow you to have like such a long distance situation, right? So I think the furthest distance that I would be able to shoot without hitting anything else would probably be like 150 meters, maybe 100 meters and in. Okay, so that's exactly why I have this mount way back here. Okay, now a lot of people like to put their mounts way up here because what they can do is they can actually wrap their arms around that sling and grip it as tight as possible, and that actually helps control that recoil. Okay, so again, with me and my setting and my environment, I don't really have to worry about that. That's not something that I really have to think about. So that kind of keeps me out of that category as far as giving them a reason to mount it way up here. Now, some people don't mount it there for that particular reason. Some people mount it there for comfort. They mount it there because that's what they were taught. That's how they were trained. So that's what they use. All right. So that's exactly what we're running with as far as that goes. So yeah, as far as a 2-point sling, that is really great. That's the one that I like the best. 1-point sling, I really have a love-hate relationship with. I didn't run one of my other rifles like that, but after a while, I just kind of figured, it's not as comfortable and it's not as conducive as one may seem. So what I mean by that is, the device that I had on there, or the piece that I had on there, slid over the castle nut, and it was basically a mount that you could pop on either side, right? So I found out when I was training, when I was weapon transitioning, basically what I was talking about in my other video, I would have my rifle here, and I would try to sling it over here with that 1-point sling and get it clean out the way, and then draw my weapon, but it will always fling back over this way, right? So it was just like, it works with gravity just like anything else. So I would bring it over here, trying to get it out the way, and it would swing right back over there. Okay. Now with the 2-point sling, normally I do have it wide open, but I'm actually able to, maneuver this out the way while my leg is in front, and it'll pretty much stay where it's supposed to. And then I can still keep my hand on my pistol and have an efficient draw and be effective and efficient with my sidearm. Okay, so again, with the 1-point sling, it's not allowing you to really maneuver it in one specific direction and keep it there. It's kind of like, okay, you might put me over here, but I'm gonna want to go back over there and swing back and forth for a little bit. So that's one thing that I really didn't like about the 1-point sling. It does allow you to maneuver that rifle a little bit better, in my opinion. So as far as being efficient and as far as maneuvering that weapon and manipulating that weapon, then you can do a lot more and a lot better as far as the 1-point sling, because it's on a bungee cord, right? So even if you wanted to stretch it out just a little bit farther, you wouldn't have to really adjust anything or lock it down with the adjustable strap. So, you know, instead of having to go back and forth with this, you know, it's just a bungee cord, and it lets you transition from shoulder to shoulder with ease, okay, without also having to worry about choking yourself. So that is one of the things that I do like about the single point sling, but overall it is a little uncomfortable. Once you drop it, you also have to think about the fact that where is it going? It's going straight down. What is straight down? That part right there, all right? So you have to be careful as far as transitioning and training and running drills and finding out what works for you, okay? That's one of the things about the firearm world. You have a lot of people that follow trends, but they're not really happy or comfortable with the choices of, you know, the firearms or the equipment that they run. So you really have to think about stuff like that. Just make sure that it's something that you yourself are comfortable and happy with, okay? So really hate that feeling of, you know, shooting and it drops right down into, you know, your area. So try to stay away from that. 3-point slings, haven't really seen much of those except for in movies. I've seen it probably 4 times in my life at the gun range. To me, it looks like it gets in the way a lot. Okay, I've done a little bit of research on it, and a lot less people use it compared to a single point sling or a double point. Okay. You know, that's just what I've observed. You know, other people might love it, other people might hate it, but that's just me in my opinion, okay? All right. So, not going to speak too much on the 3-point sling because I really don't know that much about it, but when I get some more information, I definitely will keep you guys updated. All right. So we already talked about how to manipulate with the sling, the different points. We're also going to talk about the purpose of a sling, all right? So number one, and it does look like it's about to rain soon, so I'm going to have to wrap this video up pretty quick. The purpose of a sling is to keep it attached to your body, okay, obviously. Now, a lot of people might not realize this, but if you're in a high-stress situation and you have a rifle that you use for self-defense, then it's imperative that you have a sling, 100%. If you slip and fall and your rifle falls off somewhere, like in the movies, like it just flies off 10 feet from you or whatever, then you do want to try your best to keep that rifle close to you. That's just something that you can avoid just by having a sling, okay? A very sturdy sling. Find one that's actually highly rated. You don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a sling, but you definitely don't want to, you know, just spend $20 on a sling and expect it to do what it's supposed to do, okay? That's just not how it works. You do get what you pay for in most cases, but with this particular situation, yes, you do want to get a solid sling. Blue Force makes really good slings, and Magpul. Those are the only two that I would really go with. You know, those are the only ones that I really have experience with. So Blue Force Gear and Magpul make really great, really reliable, durable slings, okay? Now, the second thing that it alleviates is the possibility of somebody snatching that weapon away from you, okay? That is a very bad situation if you run within arm's reach of that threat and they get their hands on the rifle and they beat you from it and they take your own weapon and kill you with it, okay? That's gonna suck. So again, that's the whole purpose of a sling. Now, you know, of course, if you get in close, like I said before, normally I run a sling right there behind my back, over my dominant shoulder, under my non-dominant armpit, I guess. And that keeps it tightened down very well, okay? So that's one of the things that I love about this this sling. So if I have to go into hand combat mode or hand-to-hand combat, or if I have other things to do, then I can lock it down close to my body, okay? Again, as I said before, the third reason is a lot of guys will take their arms and lock it behind that sling, right? It's right there up under that underpit, and they'll get to put more accurate shots down range. Okay, so I love my sling, love it, love it, love it. Have no complaints or issues with it. Never been a problem for me. Oh, one of the other things that I highly suggest when it comes to a sling is either getting some Ranger bands. Those are like green, really tough, really tough rubber bands. And I would just keep them on the stock. Okay, that's normally what I would do. Reason being is because, or if you have this pistol brace, a lot of them do come with this Velcro elastic strap. See how stretchy it is. Normally what I'm doing, if I'm in a situation like if I'm in a car, okay, and I don't want to get this strap caught on something, I will normally take this and wrap it around here, and then didn't work out the way I thought it was, because I have it on the opposite side, that's why. So normally, again, I just take this side and wrap it around there, and then that pretty much locks it down, right? And that keeps it from you know, jumping all over the place, and so it's easily accessible to you. All right. So I mean, that's just something that a lot of people. Wait a minute, maybe I had it right the first time. I don't know. Right. So it just locks down like that. Okay. Essentially, it keeps it out the way. That's not the best that I could do right now, but kind of get the idea. All right. So as far as locking it down like this, does it keep you from shouldering that weapon efficiently? No, because there's only as far as the pads go, most people might, you know, they might not like it because it's right there in the way of the pistol brace or the rifle stock or whatever the case may be. But in my humble opinion, you know, I still can get an accurate shot off because it's right there. Okay, it acts as a shoulder pad anyway. So as for me, in my opinion. And then when I'm ready to break it out, I could just take that off and go on about my business and do what I'm supposed to do. Okay. So Ranger bands actually work a little bit better because they're a little bit quicker to snatch out. You know, you could pop them out the rubber band and not even have to worry about it. Or you could use, again, this Velcro strap that comes on these pistol braces. All right. All right. So guys, you know, again, I really appreciate you all for tuning into my channel. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate your support. I am steadily growing as far as my YouTube channel goes, and I definitely want to include a lot more knowledge, and I want to include a lot more people in building up their whereabouts on firearms. So again, I greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in. You know, I want you guys to be knowledgeable and aware of your gun rights, your laws, the statutes. I want you to be knowledgeable as far as your capabilities, your running drills, practice and training, all of those things, okay? Be as deadly as possible, even if you never have to use it in your life. I'd rather you be prepared for a situation that may never happen versus being in a situation that has happened and you're not prepared at all, okay? Rather have it than need it and not have it, okay? So, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have a very blessed day. If you have any questions or concerns, put them in the comment section down below. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed day.